I just wanted this to be a very small, vimochan of my pustak, as they call it in Hindi. I just wanted this to be a very small and sweet launch. Because of the lockdown, we cannot do anything. So it has to be done online. And therefore, I'm doing it online. और इसका शुभ मुहूर्त जो था वो 2 से 3 के बीच में था, तो इसीलिए मैंने 2:15 का समय रखा था. एंड किताब की पुस्तक की पूजा हो चुकी है, वो जब आई थी तभी मैंने करवा दी थी. And today for the launch, I'm going to read out, first going to show you the book, and then I'm going to read out something that is called Phalshruti. तो फलश्रुति क्या होता है और उसको उसकी वो होता क्या है, उससे हमें फायदा क्या मिलता है, इस पुस्तक की क्या फलश्रुति है, I'm going to tell everybody about it. So this is the book. I just tied a little ribbon on it.
Wow.
Yeah, so I hope everybody can see it clearly. मेरे यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा ना यहाँ पे इंटरनेट का, कैन एवरीबडी सी इट क्लियरली? मुझे थोड़ा पिक्सेलेटेड दिखता है यहाँ पे.
Congratulations, congratulations, we can see.
Thank you. So I'm just going to open it. So here is the book, which is out after approximately more than 5 years of research and many, many more years of writing it and studying Sanskrit, not to mention that. And if you'll open the book, you'll see lots of Sanskrit shlokas. So anything and everything that I have written in the book comes with Sanskrit shlok. There is nothing that I have left for interpretation. My idea of writing Amazing Ayodhya was that it should not be an interpretation, it should be a narration. And someone may ask, what is the difference between narration and interpretation? Now, interpret is when we read something from the scriptures and then we interpret it in our own way. That is, we give our own thought process or layers or anything that we think that is what is saying. That is not what I have done here. I have done a narration. And what does narration mean? Narration means that as what is written in the scriptures, I will write exactly that. And hence, this book is a narration. I am taking myself out of this. What I have done with the book is that I have taken the shlokas. So there were questions that came to me about Ayodhya. And when the questions came to me about Ayodhya, I started researching them. And how I researched and the Sanskrit shlokas I came across, I started putting those Sanskrit shlokas. What I did was that when I read it and I said, oh, did this happen in that time? Do we have any other proof? Do we have proof from other cultures? I then added those proofs to explain what the shlokas were saying or what the scriptures are saying about Ayodhya. So I'll give you a reference. This is about the shape of Ayodhya, the size and shape of Ayodhya. Now, according to scriptures and also archaeological surveys, the size of Ayodhya, the size and shape of Ayodhya is supposed to be a rectangular shape. And iska size hai 12/3 yojan. Now, I have written that with the Sanskrit shlok here. And I've made a little diagram so everybody can see. And now, in comparison, I have shown you a map of Dholavira. This map of Dholavira is the same sort of a squarish rectangle. It's actually a rectangle. And this is exactly how in ancient times, these cities used to be built. Nagar or Puri used to be built. Can everybody see this? So if you'll get the book, you'll see this. So we know what the scriptures say is obviously the truth because we have enough of proof from other ancient, ruins that in ancient times, the cities and the nagars. The nagar, there's a difference between a nagar and a city. A nagar is a district. A city is, like a town, or we all know what a city is. So you can see the shape of this. And so we know that not only are the scriptures telling the truth, they are also found in other parts of India and perhaps even other parts of the world. Now I'll give you another example. Now, it says that all the houses of Ayodhya used to be gold-plated. Now, Ramji's house was also gold-plated. All the palaces of Ayodhya were gold-plated. So technically all the, so there is Ayodhya Nagri and Ayodhya Puri. So in Ayodhya Puri, everything is gold-plated. Now, the interesting part is that somebody might say, ki, well, gold-plating abhi hai, nahi hai, kahan gaya, to koi chhodega nahi, technically speaking. Everybody looked the gold. It's such an ancient civilization. So but the concept of gold plating is very ancient in India, and it is carried on even today. So this is a temple from the south where I've shown in the book, which has gold plating on. And then this is the Swarn Mandir, and we all popularly know Swarn Mandir as Golden Temple. तो आप देखिएगा स्वर्ण मंदिर के ऊपर भी ये गोल्ड प्लेटिंग किया हुआ है, और यहाँ पे भी हमारे मंदिरों में ये तो पूरी तरह से गोल्ड प्लेटिंग की हुई है. अच्छा, अब बात है कि क्या सिर्फ गोल्ड प्लेटिंग इंडिया में हुआ करती थी? एंड द आंसर इज नो. Gold plating was prevalent across the world during this time. So why would not Ayodhya be totally gold plated? I mean, the homes of Ayodhya be totally gold plated. Here is a copy of Incan gold plating. So in earlier times, things used to be made up of rock or even burnt bricks. So जब rock पे किया जाता था gold plating, तो वो क्या करते थे, बड़े बड़े sheets बनाया करते थे gold के. तो Incan civilization में gold and silver दोनों यूज होता था. तो ये एक प्लेट है जो रॉक्स के ऊपर उन्हें बांध दिया जाता था या हुक से रख दिया जाता था, बिकॉज इट्स ऑलमोस्ट इम्पॉसिबल टू प्लेट रॉक्स. सो रॉक्स के ऊपर प्लेट्स चढ़ाए जाते थे जिसे हम शीट्स कहते हैं. And here is another sample of that typical gold plating that was found across the world in ancient civilizations. So Ayodhya is one of the most ancient civilizations. Actually, it is the cradle of human civilization as per Hindu scriptures, because Manu ji ne uski sthapna wahan pe ki thi. I hope everybody got the gist of what I'm trying to say, that I'm making a difference between interpretation and narration. And here I was giving you an example of how my book is different than other people who write on ancient history, because I am not giving any interpretation. I'm just giving you narration with a lot of proof. अगर लिखा है रामायण में कि अयोध्या के घर स्वर्ण से बने थे, तो वो मैंने श्लोक भी डाली है, उसका प्रूफ, और बाकी कल्चर्स में उस समय क्या होता था या उसके बाद क्या होता था, मैंने उसका भी प्रूफ आप सबको दिया है. अब मैं आऊंगी फलश्रुति पे. बहुत लोगों को पता नहीं है कि फलश्रुति क्या होती है, तो फलश्रुति के बारे में आपको मैं थोड़ा सा बताना चाहूंगी. फलश्रुति मेरी पुस्तक के एंड में है, 268, पेज नंबर 268. दिस इज कॉल्ड फलश्रुति. फलश्रुति होती है किसी भी चीज, किसी भी श्रुति का मतलब होता है लिसनिंग, टू लिसन. द फ्रूट ऑफ लिसनिंग इज कॉल्ड फलश्रुति. तो हमारा इस पुस्तक में फलश्रुति का क्या मतलब है, ये होगा फिर द फ्रूट ऑफ रीडिंग और एक्सपोजर. टेक्निकली इट मींस एक्सपोजर. अगर हमने कुछ भी, इवन इफ वी एक्सपोज आवरसेल्फ टू समथिंग, आवर माइंड्स आर नेवर द सेम. Whether we expose our minds to something good or we expose it to something bad, our mind will expand depending on what we have exposed ourselves to. So this is what technically Phalshruti means, and I'm going to read it out for you a little bit here. So इसमें क्या फलश्रुति है? तो इसमें मैंने इस पुस्तक की जो फलश्रुति है, which is the fruit of reading this book and the fruit of gifting this book, is as follows. पुत्र कामश्च पुत्रान्वय dhan kamo dhanani cha labhate manujo loke shutva ram abhishechanam mahim vijayate raja paripuran pyadhipatishtati. Sorry, these words are so long, even I get stuck sometimes reading it. So here it is, and I'll tell you where this is coming from and what it means. On hearing the narrative of this coronation in this world, a person seeking children gets children, a person looking for wealth gets riches, a king conquers the world and overcomes his enemies. और वो किंग बनेगा, ये लास्ट लाइन यही कहती है. और पुत्र कामश्च, पुत्र की कामना वालों को पुत्र मिलेगा. धन कामो, धन की कामना वालों को धन मिलेगा. अब ये फलश्रुति टेक्निकली रामायण में दी गई है, क्योंकि रामायण अगर आप में से कोई भी एक बार पढ़ेगा, उसके बारे में जानेगा, तो you will never be the same person again. It is as simple as that. And I may say it, but unless you start reading it and imbibing Ramayana in your life, it will be very difficult for me to just say, because then these are just words that I will tell you. Your thought process will change. एंड रामायण को समझने और जानने के लिए सबसे पहले आपको अयोध्या जानना होता है, क्योंकि रामायण जो है वो अयोध्या से शुरू होती है, अयोध्या के वर्णन से शुरू होती है. बालकांड पंचम सर्ग अयोध्या की ग्लोरी, अयोध्या की महिमा से शुरू होती है. एंड दैट इज व्हाई आई हैव आल्सो टेकन आई हैव रिटन द फर्स्ट बुक ऑन अयोध्या. एंड इसकी जो फलश्रुति है वो रामायण से ही ली गई है. अब मैं आपको बताती हूँ इसकी फलश्रुति का फल कैसे मिलता है, and how does it translate to your real life. Falshruti in Sanskrit means the fruit of listening. This implies the effect of listening or reading about a particular work, specifically about a deity or something of dharmic significance. Whenever we expose our minds to different things, whether we are aware or unaware, these affect our consciousness. Therefore, the images our conscious mind holds and slowly transfers to our subconscious mind will surely manifest in our lives. Therefore, exposing ourselves to positive things yields positive results and vice versa. And I've given examples now. Reading good books, thinking positively, listening to stories of Devis and Devatas, chanting the mantras or holy names of one's favorite deity, and partaking in activities that elevate us invariably yields good results sooner than later. Just like keeping bad company will invariably rub off and land one in trouble. For this reason, most dharmic works have Phalshruti at the end. So I hope everybody understands what a Phalshruti is now. Yeah. Okay.
Understood.
Okay, thanks. The above Phalshruti is, like I said, is from the Valmiki Ramayana, and it was the closest that I could offer, which one would benefit from reading this book. So it was the closest that I could offer that it would change your consciousness. I'm going to read further, and I'm going to begin from the paragraph where I explain why this Phalshruti is, why I've chosen this. The above Phalshruti is from the Valmiki Ramayana itself and was the closest I could find to the benefits that could match the readers of this book. The coronation of Lord Ram indicates various things: victory over enemies, opulence and kingship, and the uniting of Devi Sita and Lord Ram. For this reason, the above mentioned Phalshruti is written in the Valmiki Ramayana. Similarly, this book too describes the opulence of Ayodhya, its strength over its enemies due to its fortifications, and its gorgeous palaces, including that of Crown Prince Ram and his consort, Crown Princess Sita, when they cohabited in Ayodhya. Therefore, those desirous of possessing wealth will be blessed with riches. Those desirous of having children will be blessed with children, since children are only born after a man and woman come together. In the shlok, the Sanskrit word putra refers to both son and daughters, just like the word pitri refers to ancestors on both the mother's and the father's side. Those desirous of kinship, that is power, will be enthroned with it, and those wanting victory will be rewarded with the subjugation of enemies. Okay, now here is the word of caution when Falshruti works and when Falshruti doesn't work. And this is a problem that I come across with a lot of people, and they tell me that they are not able to manifest in their lives, or they're not able to manifest wealth or something like that. So every Falshruti comes with its, sort of a warning, but a lot of people do not understand the reason behind that. And what the messages that we give to our subconscious, unhe samajh mein nahi aata hai, so they get really confused about it. So I'm going to explain why a lot of times your manifestations do not work. While blessings are openly stated as Falshruti, I would like to add a word of caution that it is only valid for the person who purchases original copies of the book for their own reading or for the purposes of gifting. Just like a property that is squatted on does not become the squatter's property, and the abducted wife of another man cannot belong to the abductor, stolen knowledge never yields results. Hindu history is replete with stories of misfortune when people engaged in such acts. For the act of abducting Devi Sita, an incarnation of the goddess of wealth herself, the mighty king Ravan lost not only his kingdom, but his race of Rakshasas was wiped off the face of this earth. And Karn, for having tricked Lord Parshuram in teaching him the knowledge of weapons, ultimately couldn't remember it when he needed it the most, and as a result died in the Mahabharat war. A book not only contains knowledge, but it is also the result of years of labor of an author, the publisher, and the innumerable people involved in its sales and distribution. Reading a book without paying for it via unauthorized digitized copies or buying cheap priced reproductions of books sold by hawkers too will result in misfortune because one is indulging in theft of knowledge and wealth. Not only does it deprive the numerous people involved in the publishing chain of their rightly deserved wealth, but it also tantamounts to theft of authors' knowledge. Therefore, such acts accrue misfortune and numerous blessings are invalidated automatically. And that's the end of Falshruti. Does everybody understand the cycle? So what I've stated is very specific. It's very sort of in the open. I want to ask people, does everybody know the subconscious reason why, theft doesn't yield results, or even like, कि हमने सस्ती कॉपी ले ली या हमने 100 रुपए किसी के 100 रुपए नहीं किए फ्री में बुक डाउनलोड कर दी. Does everybody know the subconscious reason behind why this blocks our manifestation, or any manifestation, whether wealth or anything else? No? Okay, so every time we make a choice that we will read something for free, which is not that it is given to us for free. ऐसा नहीं है कि ये मंदिर का प्रसाद है या आपको किसी ने ये पुस्तक भेंट कर दी है या आपने कोई एक मूवी, किसी ने आपको एक मूवी गिफ्ट की है. What happens is that there are a lot of people who are in the habit of downloading books for free. If somebody works in an office, then they'll pick up things from the office for free, pins, paper clips. Now, when in the airline industry, for example, people are in the habit of picking coffee bottles, sugar sachets, so they keep these things which they don't spend money on. And these are very small, petty things. It's become habituated with people. So every time we engage in an act like this, there is a message that we send to our soul, the witness, the Atma. And that message is that me, the conscious mind, is not deserving. And why is it not deserving? It is not deserving कि मैं 200 रुपए की किताब नहीं खरीद सकता हूँ, मुझे वो मुफ्त में चाहिए. I am not worthy. कि मैं कॉफी की 100 रुपए की कॉफी की बॉटल फ्री में चोरी कर लूंगा. I am not deserving of it. चीनी की 50 रुपए की छोटी छोटी 20 सैशे में ले लूंगा. And so again the soul gets the thing कि ये ऐसा नॉन डिजर्विंग पर्सन है कि ये 50 रुपए नहीं स्पेंड कर सकता है, या मैं वो 10 रुपए के स्टेपल्स निकाल लूंगा ऑफिस से. And then this becomes a habit with us. So it becomes a habit for us. So thieving then becomes a habit with us. And this is the same thieving that stops us from manifesting, from getting wealthy, and from achieving anything that we want to achieve in our life. Because the Atma, which is the witness, or which is the soul, it sort of looks at you and says, oh, you don't even deserve that. You don't even deserve that. You don't even deserve that. And that is exactly what I've tried to explain in the end of this book. Ki aisa mat karna. There are gifts that come with everything. Be very conscious about the actions that you take. Otherwise, you will suffer and you'll never know why you're actually suffering. I hope that helped everybody. There's some of us who, those who are friends of mine, those who are in the pursuit of wealth, and I hope that this will tremendously benefit them. Thank you, everybody. Does anybody have any questions? Then I'll take questions. Please ask.
नो क्वेश्चन, पर ये मैं कहना चाहूंगा कि बहुत अच्छा आपने तरीके से एक्सप्लेन करा, और बहुत ही आप वास्ट नॉलेज में मतलब इंडल्ज करते रहते हो, और हमेशा आपसे मैं अच्छी ज्ञान की बातें हमेशा सुनता रहता हूं, और आप बहुत अच्छी तरीके से उसे एक्सप्लेन कराते हो और समझाते हो. तो बहुत खुशी होती है देख के कि अभी भी आपके जैसे धर्मात्मा अभी भी अलाइव है.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Abhishek.
May God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Neena, I think very, very well done. Very well explained as well. Also, I'm sure, this involved a lot of research. So why don't you share with me, or, the entire forum, the difficulties or challenges that you would have faced while writing this book that you've written? Because I'm sure you would have had to, overcome a lot of it, and very interesting thoughts. And I must say, very professionally done the book launch. You look and sound like a pro, but very keen to understand the challenges that you would have faced while doing this.
So I'm going to outline the challenges. I'm not able to see two other participants who've raised hands. Just hold on. Okay, so just please ask the question, unmute yourself and ask the question after I've given the answer. So Guneet, you asked me what are the challenges that I have faced. And I'd like to tell you, the first challenge that I faced was that when I did this research, I went to ask people, किसी को पता है, कोई कुछ बता दे मुझे, तो मुझे ये मिला था. Nothing. It was a blank slate. I would read things in Sanskrit, and I am a student of Sanskrit. Ab jab wo, I'm still learning, and I still struggle with Sanskrit. If there's some new words or new words that I'm not acquainted with, my pronunciation goes for a toss. You ask me to write, I'm able to write. So, and then Sanskrit has many, it can have many meanings of words also, though they're all related, but it has many meanings. And over a period of time, the words change their meaning. So I'll give you an example. For example, the fridge. The fridge is actually, the whole world is refrigerator. And now when I say the word fridge, you get an idea of what the fridge is. Now I'll give you another example. I'll take the word phone or telephone. Now in the ancient time, a telephone used to be a totally different box. It used to be this big box. Remember, you used to dial. That's my generation, right? Pele 1, 2, Thankfully, teeny number hote the. The first phones that came, I remember my phone number at my nana's place was 555 555. Okay, that was really easy. Now, this is not only a phone, but this is also your television. This is also your radio, and this has become so many things. Now somebody says, I'm watching YouTube. Where are you watching? You're watching it on your phone. So, but if you said this to somebody 20 years earlier, they wouldn't understand what you're talking about. And this is exactly what I had to face. So things had evolved to such an extent that they had become unrecognizable from the time of its inception. So this is a problem that I was faced with, and in particular, there is this chapter which is about the weapons in Ayodhya. There's a very mysterious weapon called the Shatagni. Now, Shatagni is very different in Ayodhya, and a Shatagni is very different in Dhanurved. By the time Mahabharata comes, Shatagni is totally different. So this was a challenge that I continually faced. So what I did for this challenge is I went to sources that were more ancient than the Ramayana itself. And when I went to those sources, I started researching. I started drawing maps. I started drawing diagrams. And it took me a very long time. Everywhere that I would hear about that weapon, please mute yourself. Everywhere I would hear about that weapon, I would research it, and then I would, see kya ho sakta, what are the endless possibilities. By the way, it sounds easy, but it took me endless hours of research. When I'm saying endless hours of research, when somebody reads what an author has written, उनको ना ज्यादा सोचने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती है. वो जो 5 साल का जो सोच करके मैंने अपनी जीवन का जो मूल है वो इसमें जब डाल दिया है. So when I wrote this book, somebody asked me कि तुमने कितने साल इसमें research लगाए, and I said मैंने पता नहीं इतने साल लगाया. And somebody said, a man's whole lifetime of knowledge is just information in a book for somebody else. And it's very difficult to, sort of explain that determination and that grit that made me sit down and day after day, day after day, day after day, day after day, explore those terms. So Guneet, I sat down every single day, or, whenever I could. I took from the last, I made strings. I had mental strings. X. So this X goes here. Y goes here. Z goes here, which is the most authentic string. I sat down, I collated, I wrote, and then I presented this research. So I had nobody to help me, the biggest challenge. So I had to help myself. It is with grit and determination. मतलब हर रोज बैठना और इस उम्र में आकर के संस्कृत सीखना, जबकि there are more interesting things to do. Like I would sometimes, question myself, why am I doing this? Would anybody even appreciate what I have done? Do people realize the depth of things that I have done? Sanskrit is my 7th language. And, people would say, क्या कर रही हो संस्कृत का homework? क्या कर रही हो संस्कृत की class है? People are like, what's wrong with you? It's not going to help you. I said, I know you think that it's not going to help me, but my research is now going to help millions of people across the world to know about Ayodhya. I just hope that they understand the depth. So I hope that's clear, Guneet. Persistence and working for something bigger than you. My goal was working for something bigger than me. And it helped that I was a devotee. It helped me persist. And anytime that we choose to do something that's bigger than us, then I don't know where the inspiration comes from, but it does. And I had made this choice in 2008 or 2009, at the point that I was given this information that I'm supposed to do, not exactly what I've done, but something like this. I didn't accept it myself, but now I have. And it took me a long time to come here, but I have, finally arrived.
Fabulous, fabulous.
Thank you. Any other questions? I know somebody else also raised.
Great job. I mean, when we will be having this book for sale today itself?
Okay, so the book is on Amazon.
Okay.
But because of they're not delivering because of the lockdown hai. So what I suggest is that you take a look at Amazon and you put it on wish list or something like that. So the next time that it's available, you can purchase it. I know that it's available in Bangalore, so it's getting delivered to other places, but in Delhi, they are having problems with delivery because of the lockdown. If you are curious, then you can also take the online version, which is the ebook. The ebook is there for everybody to read. And physical copies in Delhi, they'd have to wait. Baki cities mein mil rahi hain physical copies, if I'm not mistaken.
And we are looking for, I am giving you all the best for rest of your books. And this is the beginning, a series of books we are expecting from you.
So I have been asking everybody the same question. So Ayodhya pe to ek ye hai. Ayodhya pe I have more information also for see the information is in my mind. If you ask me to speak, I'll speak immediately. But I like to give proof. I like to write with proof and, I like to narrate. So जैसे मैंने photographs दिए हैं और जैसे मैंने ये सारे श्लोक्स लिखे हैं किताबों में, ये देख लो, ये this is a श्लोक, ये अंकुर वट की पिक्चर है. ये सारे श्लोक्स और ये सब जिस तरीके से मुझे मेरी क्वालिटी का शौक है उसमें लिखने में थोड़ा समय मिलेगा. Okay, so this is it. Thank you everybody. Thank you for taking your valuable time, and thank you for coming and supporting me. I look forward to hearing from all of you very soon, and I'll start working on the other books as well. अभी इसके promotions वगैरह खत्म हो जाने दो, ये lockdown थोड़ा सा ease हो. So, and I wish everybody a very healthy and a very long life. Thank you so much for coming here. I'm really honored that you took your time out for me. Thank you.
Happy Ram Navami to all of you.
Yes.
जो आज का
Ram
agenda
Navami.
था.
Yes, आज इसीलिए
Happy
इस
Ram
पुस्तक
Navami
का
to all
विमोचन
of you.
इस पुस्तक का विमोचन रामनवमी के दिन ही करना था, इसीलिए मैंने इस पुस्तक का विमोचन आज किया है. रामनवमी की आप सबको बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं.
आपको भी रामनवमी की बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं. सबको रामनवमी की बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं. जय श्री राम.
जय श्री राम. जय श्री राम.
All the best. All the best. And wish you guys the same. Stay safe, everyone. Also, tough times. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm ending this. Bye.